to Midday Rush with the Rushings. We know it's been about a week since we put out a video.
Yeah.
Right? But we wanted to tap in with you guys and kind of talk to you, open up a little bit more about just us and some of the things that we've encountered with one another. Baby, I was looking on Facebook today because, you know, we always be like, oh, we've been together this long, or we've been together that long. And I was looking at Facebook and I seen a 5-year memory today. And then I think the other day I seen like a 6-year memory. And it's so funny because it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Like I've only been in North Carolina for 7 years and we started dating like a year after I got here, right? And so it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but then it seems like it's been forever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So they always say time flies when you're having fun. And I know we have definitely been having fun with one another. And we don't even go nowhere or do a whole lot.
Just be with each other. That means a whole lot.
Means a whole lot. Yeah. Go ahead, baby. You was going to say something?
We got some very important topics today.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a very important topic today. And we're going to talk about diabetes and how it impacts not just the person who has diabetes, but also those around the person. And so we're just going to start from the beginning, you guys. Just start from the beginning. So I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in 2017. Was it 2017? Mm-hmm. Yep, 2017. May of 2017. And basically, Bobby and I, so we lived together before we were married. We did. And we had just moved into our house that we had moved into together, like May 1st of 2017. Okay. And we had already been dating a couple, maybe about a year and a half or so. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so we decided to move in together, and we moved in May 1st. And now prior to that, I had already not been feeling well. And I didn't know what it was. I was working. So I was just going to work every day. We used to ride to work all the time together. And I was going to work every day. And, you know, Bobby actually worked down the street from my job. He lived down the street from my job and worked like right around the corner. So a lot of the times, like I had changed Mina's school to over in his area because we would spend a lot of time over at his house. Artez kind of like had his own little apartment out there in Concord, mm-hmm. But we, you know, then we would spend weekends or several days out there making sure that Artez was okay. By that time, he had his own car and all these different things. It was his last year in high school. So I did spend a lot of time at Bobby's house. But anyway, I was already not feeling well. And I didn't know what the feeling was. I had never felt it before. It was like, I couldn't explain it. I was always upset. I had a headache. There was just always something going on. You know, I just wasn't feeling well. But anyway, we moved in together. And I remember it was Mother's Day that year because Artez had invited me to his friend's mom's house, and they cooked us breakfast for dinner. Okay. Right? But I was sitting at this woman's house. I had just met her. It's one of Artez's friends' moms, and we were talking and everything. And all of a sudden, my vision just went completely blurry, just instantly. I was looking at the clock to see what time it was, and I could see it 1 minute, the next minute it was blurry. So I was like, what is that, right? I don't even think I came home and told you. Mm-hmm. But I started wearing my glasses. I already had glasses anyway, right? So I just started wearing my glasses all the time just so I could see, because I couldn't see things in front, like at a certain distance. And I didn't know why. So I didn't know the signs of diabetes. I just didn't. I didn't know the signs. Although I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with Amina, but that was like 8 years before. This was right around Mina's 8th birthday. And so I, you know, that was one of the signs, but I didn't know. But I just kept working, going to work, not worrying about it. And so we're living together by this time, and probably about 2 weeks in to us, because I think that was me not being able to see was like May 11th or something like that. Amina's birthday is May 16th. She was having a slumber party for her birthday. And Ajane was driving down here to help me with the slumber party. We had invited all these little girls and had all this stuff set up. But that Friday that we were supposed to have Amina's slumber party, I was at work and it was so bad that I couldn't, like my arms and my legs felt heavy. At this time, I had been going to the bathroom all the time. I was thirsty all the time. So I was drinking water, soda, juice, whatever I can get my hands on, like consistently eating ice and water and drinking. But because I didn't know it was diabetes or signs of diabetes, I just knew something was wrong. I was like, oh, I'm just sick. I don't feel good, right? And so this day, it was really, really bad that I went to my my director and I was like, look, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I got to go to the doctors. And so I called Bobby because we only had one car at the time. And we used to ride to work together. And I called him and I was like, babe, you're going to have to come pick me up and take me to urgent care because something's wrong. So he was like, okay. Yeah. Right? What was you thinking when I called you?
I didn't know, but I had to take you, to make sure everything was all right.
Mm-hmm. And I never called, like during the day, you guys, right now, probably because I'm working from home, we probably talk more right now during the day than we did before. Me and Bobby, we rode to work together. We would not talk all day to each other. I would be working, he would be working. Mm-hmm. We were both busy. He would pick me up if he took the car and dropped me off first, or I would pick him up if I took the car and dropped him off first, but whoever did whatever that day. And then we would see each other after work, ride home and, be home together. But during the day, we didn't call each other, text each other, or anything like that for no other reason but the fact that we were busy at work. That's it. And I was okay with that. Yeah, it didn't bother me.
We were definitely busy.
Right. It didn't bother me at all. So, I called Bobby. So for me to call him in the middle of the day, like, you got to come get me. Something's wrong. I know. Is that alarming to you?
Well, if you call me like that, then I know something was wrong. So I had to act quickly, and I had to go see. Yeah. Take it to the emergency room
we went to urgent care first. So we go to the urgent care. And Bob says, okay, Spark, look, I know you're going to probably be at urgent care for a minute. I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to go back to work. You had to go finish something or whatever it was. And you were like, I'm going to come back, which I was fine with, you guys. So I'm not that woman that, oh, my man has to be here. No, drop me off. I'm sick. Go do what you need to do. Be back here to get me when it's time for me to go. That's just how I felt. And I was okay with that. So he was like, baby, let me go and handle this, because I was right in the middle. He deals with chemicals and all this stuff at work. I was right in the middle of doing this. Let me go finish that and I'm going to come back. So everything was right in the vicinity of our jobs. We worked probably, it was like 5 minutes away from each other. I'm driving real quick. So I'm at the urgent care and they're like, the guy first is like, well, who is stressing you out? What's going on, this guy? And I'm like, nobody. You got grown kids. They've been first of all, my kids don't stress me out. I don't let them stress me out. Never have. So no, but check what we need to check. But they never even thought, because of my size, even though I had a little bit more weight on right now, because of my size and my age, they never even thought to think about. At first, they didn't think about checking for diabetes. They just didn't think about checking for it until I told them that I had gestation. The doctor came in asking all these questions. And so she was like, let me check your sugar. So I said, okay. So they poke my little finger, go to do my sugar. They come back probably like 3 minutes later in the room and was like, you need to go to the emergency room and you need to go right now. And I was like, what do you mean? You need to go right now. You need to go to the emergency room. You need to go right now.
I didn't make it back to work because you had called me so quick. I had to turn back around.
He had to turn around. I was like, babe, they said I got to go to the emergency room. And she said, your sugar is so high that we can't even read it here at urgent care. It said it's too high. And I said, what you mean by that? And she was like, you need to go to the emergency room. Tell them we sent you. Give them this paperwork and tell them that your glucose was so high that they need to admit you. And I was like, okay. So Bob comes back and get me. Now, mind you, I'm supposed to be having a little girl's birthday party tonight. Right? Remember that? And so I called Ajane and I was like, hey, Aj. I was like, look, I'm getting ready to go to the emergency room. I told her what was going on. She was already on her way down here from Virginia to celebrate Amina's birthday with us anyway. And so I said, look, I might have to cancel Amina's party tonight. I need you to go pick her up for me and all that type of stuff. So I was like, okay, Mom, I got it. So she went and picked Ajane up, and she said, well, let's don't cancel her party. Let me, I'll stay with the girls and get them all together. So they had a really good time. Ajane set them up. Amina didn't even know. She knew I was in the hospital, but she didn't even know the magnitude of what was wrong. So Ajane really always, that's my girl right there. That's my daughter / best friend. But she stepped up and really took care of that for me, because we had little girls on their way to the house.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think because Bobby, so let me go back. So I told Bobby, I said, okay, take me to the emergency room. Matter of fact, you went and got Amina because you had to take her home.
Yeah.
Ajane wasn't there in enough time. So when we got to the emergency room and I told them what was going on, they immediately took me back. Like there was no waiting, no nothing. They immediately took me back. They immediately checked my sugar. They immediately put me on IVs. They put me in the emergency room bed and all stuff. Like it was like immediate.
It was like quick.
Like they were like, oh, okay, no, we need to get you in there. So they took it really serious. And at this time, I'm still not realizing how serious this is or what's going on. I just know I don't feel good. They said my glucose was high, but I didn't really understand what's going on, to be honest. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know a lot about diabetes at that time. So I didn't understand that how serious the condition I was in. I really didn't. And so when they took me back there, I said, Bobby had to go get Amina. So he left, he went to get Amina, and I'm back there and I'm hungry. I'm mad. I don't feel good. They putting these IVs all in me. They start shooting me with insulin. And I'm like, what is this? And so the doctor finally comes in and she tells me, she said, Miss Bruner, she said, I'm surprised that you were able to walk in here on your own. She said, because your glucose was over 700. And normally people, when it gets that high, a lot of times it could end up in a diabetic coma. And you were able to walk in here on your own. And I'm like, what? What do you mean over 700? I'm still not thinking like, I don't know what's 700. She's like, your glucose should really be anywhere between 80 and 120. Not 700. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it was just, that was a crazy time for me. But I think I still didn't realize how, I still didn't realize the seriousness of it. I really didn't, babe. Because remember that night, so they were going to admit me into the hospital, but they didn't have enough, hospital beds. So I stayed in the emergency room all night. They just kept me in the room, kept me with IVs. I was hungry. I was mad. Bobby came back up there. He was with me. And they were, when we left the hospital, babe, we went to Waffle House. Remember that? We left the hospital because I was like, I'm hungry. I want to eat. We left, we went and got the metformin medication they gave me, and we went to Waffle House. And I sat there and I ate pancakes with syrup and all the other stuff.
You're not knowing.
I just wasn't educated enough, and I didn't realize how serious it was. And that's really what I did, you guys. Really. And that was the beginning to our journey with this illness. And I don't know, babe. What do you think? How did you feel with finding that out about me being type 2 diabetic? And
I would have done things a whole lot different. I wouldn't have been eating at certain restaurants because we like on the weekend we tried different restaurants, going to different restaurants, and if I knew the magnitude of her having diabetes, then I wouldn't have been going out like that. I was trying to stay home and have a nice candlelight dinner.
He's full of it that I cooked, y'all, because he ain't cooking.
I cook now, but I would have because I know how serious it was. But I didn't know. I didn't know she had diabetes.
Yeah, it was really hard. So with that, you guys, that's the story of how it started. So honestly, now that when I look back on it, like I really truly could have died. I could have died. And I didn't understand it. I didn't know really what like the impact that the the high sugars have on your body and other organs. But I even had to grow into that because I'm going to be 100% with you guys. I didn't stop eating sweets and candies. In fact, the next day when I got out of the hospital, I took the kids up to Discovery Place. All the girls that spent the night for Mina's party, we went to Discovery Place the next day. And guess what I had? A cupcake. I had a cupcake to celebrate Amina's birthday. And I'm just got out the hospital from being diagnosed with diabetes.
But you didn't know.
I just didn't realize how serious it was. And it's a very, very serious
and diabetes, it affects everybody.
It affects everybody.
Not just the person who have it, but it affects her loved ones. And I was glad that we were living together, so I can monitor her and I can help her a whole lot. So everything, everything fell in my hands.
Yep. And this is the thing, you guys. Thank you for watching our channel, Midday Rush with the Rushings. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Have a wonderful day.